It's not gonna be easy at all. I feel so scared right now. Hi guys, if you're just coming into my room, I'm just waiting, I guess, for more than 2 people to be in here. Hi Gregory, hi guys. I know a lot of you are used to seeing me making videos. I'm good, Andrew. But today I need to do more than make a video. I need to use this platform as a way to collect evidence to keep my family safe. I'm gonna try as hard as I can to not cry, but I am a little worried about my situation because I did decide to expose some stuff that's going on and ask in attempts to make sure that what happens to me doesn't happen to other people. But the reality is it will happen if I don't talk about it. So if you're in Ontario, you might recognize or know some of what is going on or what the media has been saying about my family. And I need everyone to know that I am the only voice for my children. And that my only duty is to protect not only my children, but I made a promise to make sure that this would never happen to any other child as long as I'm alive. That being said, I took on a very big responsibility, and in order to keep that responsibility, I need to let everybody else know what is going on. Tomorrow I have a hearing, an unlawful hearing. I have no idea what's going to happen because everything that's happened up until this point has been very illegal, to the point where I have not one, not 2, not 3, but 4 warrants beside me that the police used to get into my home that are not signed and do not have any evidence to support a claim. That being said, I was detained unlawfully, and the Barrie police used the abduction or the birth, whatever, the alert system in order to abduct and obtain my daughter and my children. It sounds so crazy to hear, but here I'm not supposed to be touching these because these are now criminal evidence to support my claim. But in order to show everybody what's going on, I need to do this. Here is one warrant that they used to get into my home. Here's the second one. Here's the third. And this is the fourth. I have no choice but to touch it at this point. And my fingerprints are going to be on there anyways. But there's also the criminal's fingerprints on there. Alright? I don't want to hear about what I should or shouldn't do right now, because the only thing I'm concerned about is making sure that my children are safe. And I have a lot of reason to believe that they're not. I have no idea where my children are. I have custody of my children, and I don't care if anyone's on here to try and discredit my claims or say I deserve the involvement, because the reality is no police officer should be breaking down your door and kidnapping your children. I seem to be faking without a signed warrant. Alright? The Children's Aid Society in Barrie decided to investigate a claim that was made. Yes, I'm just focusing on speaking right now. Investigate a claim made by their father, because I don't want to be with him. I don't want to be with somebody who has been trying to prosecute me for 4 years now. Him and his mother. I will not subject to the things that I was subjected to. As you can tell, I'm not having a very fun time after speaking out. But the reality is the police officers did break into my home. I do have evidence that I will be showing to attest to that. Despite them taking off my doorbell, that I purchased to protect my home, and erasing the evidence off of my devices to protect their claim against me. I have no idea what they're going to try and say tomorrow. The reality is I don't have to say anything because I'm not the one who put the claim in court. My job is to make sure that my children are safe, and they're not allowing me to know where they are. I have a court order right here that states the children are in my care. I can't show too much, but screenshot if you will, and do as you will to see that information. But I have evidence to support my claim that I am just protecting myself and my family. I don't know what to do anymore. Then figure out. I don't know what to do anymore because I've done everything that I can to protect my family. But what I do know is that if I can't protect myself, then I don't know how you guys think you're going to protect yourself if this happens to you. I'm not on here to debunk any claims. I am on here to talk about what happened to me and my family. I'm not here to lie to anybody. I have no reason to. I am on here to ask for the public's assistance to help me find my children just as much as you guys help the police abduct and obtain my child. I know that is a big favor to ask, and a lot of people are just going to call me crazy, and that's okay. I'm used to it. That's what happens when you speak about the truth. And I accepted that. The reality is, if I'm not safe, then neither are you. And I don't want to say that. I really don't. I wish those weren't the circumstances. But unfortunately, they are. And I just want to know if my children are safe. I would obtain a lawyer if they all didn't eat at the same restaurants. They all didn't go to the same places to hang out. That's all they have for each other because they're used to doing this to families. Anybody who knows what the Children's Aid Society does knows that they cannot help a family even if they are struggling. Even if I was struggling, they do not have the resources to help me. I've done enough research for myself to know that this is grounds for a civil suit, and I will be trying to go that route. But after what happened these last few days, I'm unsure what their plans are with me and my family. And as you've seen on my page, this is not the first time I'm going to be asking for assistance, and it's not going to be the last. Because I have my own truth, and they have their narrative, and they have more resources than I do, and they are going to take advantage of that. And I'm used to that. I can handle that. But what I can't handle is not knowing where my children are. So I am asking if anybody does know or know how I can find out where my children are, to please contact me or help me contact somebody that can help me, that is reliable, because I've tried. I have tried looking for a lawyer. I have tried talking to a non-corrupt officer. I've tried supplying my evidence to support my claim, and nobody wants to listen. So this is me trying something else. All right? I know I look crazy. I feel crazy. But this is not something that anybody should have to go through. And if you don't think if you don't think this could happen to you, that's why they're doing it. They know that you're not going to believe me. They're used to it. I'm used to it. I am not here to convince you. I am here to show you and warn you all that you're not safe, that I'm not safe, and that I will not stop protecting my children, because the fact that I know my children aren't safe, it breaks my heart knowing that none of your children are safe. It's the truth, whether you want to believe it or not. If they're capable of doing this to me because I want to speak about the truth, then imagine how they would treat you. The same. I'm not reading any negative comments because I know that those are not real people. A real person would look into these situations and know I'm not the only person that's experienced this. But we all have a choice. We all have a choice. And I'm choosing to let you all know, knowing that they're watching, that I'm not going to give up. And this live will be here so that everybody knows and everyone can share and everyone can keep this information for themselves. So when I'm no longer here to talk and protect my children and protect you guys. Why? Because it has come to that point. I don't know what to tell anyone to make them believe me because the information is available and I'm not here to convince anybody. There are people, that's enough, that have experienced similar treatment to me, and we've been talking about stuff like this for a long, long time. I don't feel safe. I don't know when the next time they're coming. I don't know why the dogs are barking. Probably at my neighbors. Or you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming again. Just my neighbors. That's enough! And they can sense that I'm obviously upset and scared. So don't blame them for barking. Okay, that's enough. They know that I've gone through a lot. And I'm not going to stop. But if I'm not going to stop, that's enough, please. Then that means that this is only going to get worse. And this is me on here telling you guys that it is about to get worse. Because again, if this is happening to me, then this is going to happen to other people. They don't ask me, they. Like, we all know who goes after children. And we all know the lengths they'll go to keep their secrets kept. I don't keep secrets. I don't have a reason to keep secrets. But what I do know is my children were kidnapped last night. And the society and the community was led to believe that they were helping look for my child. My child was not missing. My child was safe. But I can't tell you if they're safe now. Because not only are my children disclosing what the system does, and not only have I experienced, that's enough, what the system does, there are other people in this comment, and there are child protection workers in this comment, and there are the Barrie police watching. I know who's watching, and I know the risks that I'm taking. But the truth is there, and the truth will come out. And I'm letting you all know that my children were kidnapped. I have no idea where they are. I do have custody of them. Their warrant and their search and seizure was unlawful. Very unlawful. Doesn't matter whose job they were following, whatever. And they were sent here to discredit my claims. So you can read all the negative comments, but if you just go look on their profile, you will see that they're not real. They're not real because they were paid to be here. They're paid to protect their agency. They don't want to do the real job. It would have been really easy to do the real job. I have case notes right in front of me that I have no problem reading of the exact same people who are trying to prosecute me, pretend that they're working with me. This is not funny. I don't want to be on here. This is frankly kind of embarrassing. This is not my usual content. I mean, yes, protecting people, but I'm asking for help. Normally I'm helping, but I'm asking for help. I'm not telling anybody to help me because I can't tell anybody to help me. And I know that. But what I am saying is I do have the evidence to support my claim. And I don't trust anybody to be able to help me support that because of how they've treated me. I don't know if you would open the door to the police after they did that. Because I know after this, I definitely won't be trusting an officer. I definitely can't trust a child protection worker because they did lie to me. They lied to the court of law. And it's not the first time. It's not the last time. But I'm not going to allow them to take advantage of me. So I just came on here so that I can have some of these things as evidence before they come and likely take them, destroy them, try and pretend none of this happened, because not the first person they've done that to. But I am on here to tell people, that's enough. I am on here to tell people that my children are not safe while they're in the care of the society. My daughter, it disclosed that. And they know that. And everyone knows that. It's not new news. But that's not going to stop me wherever that goes. Okay? So I showed you the warrants they had to come into my house. I'm now going to show the video of me hiding in my closet because I knew, well, actually there's so much things where I don't even know where to start. That's why this was so hard to come on here and tell the story, because I don't even know where to start. I really don't. I can say all these things and it is hard to prove what I went through. But I do have lots of recorded conversations between the courthouses, the police stations, the ministry, child protection workers. Honestly, if you can name someone in a profession, I probably have a conversation with them. I'm going to play some of these things, and I'm going to try and form a sequence in my mind right now and what way they should be played so that I have the evidence to support some of my claims. It's illegal. No, I'm part of the conversation. So, and this isn't for court. Just to let everybody know. I know I can't use this for court. I don't care what I can or can't use for court because I know truth prevails. I'm not on here to prove my case. I'm here to collect as much evidence as I can so other people know that they're not safe. This isn't about me protecting myself in the court of law. I already know the court's going to do whatever they're going to do. I've been through it for years and years and years. I already know that. But in order for everybody else to know, I do need to have this place somewhere else. And anyone can call me whatever they want, but I will not stop protecting my children, because if I don't protect my children, you're not going to be able to protect yours. So I'm sorry that if you ever signed a consent or complied with a child protection worker, you are not protecting your child. If you ever let a child protection worker in your home and investigate a false claim without evidence to support it, like, that's not protecting your child. You're literally subjecting the next person to letting the bullshit trickle down their throat. So you can think that complying with them or listening to them and working with them isn't in the best interest for children. But the reality is they're just trying to prosecute you. And the more that you comply with them, they know they can come back and get information from you and take advantage of you. Do with that information with what you will. I stopped getting taken advantage of the second I was emancipated. I was, yes, raised in their system. I am aware of what they're capable of. I'm aware of the lengths that they'll go to try and discredit me, make me feel scared, and how they'll try and take advantage of me. And you can sit here and listen to the information so you can protect yourself. Or you can sit in your ego in these comments and pretend like this could never, ever happen to you. But the reality is, again, if this can happen to me, this can happen to you. Where should I start? With my phone. I do have some stuff on here, this phone, and a lot on this phone as well. I'm going to see what I have on here and what I can show, and then I might have to switch off live and then put my account on that phone and switch so that I can again show everybody what is possible to happen in Canada if you don't comply. That's what all this is about, compliance. When you don't comply with the Children's Aid Society, the police department, and honestly anyone who uses those words do not have good intentions for you, because you should not have to comply with anyone. You should be able to think for yourself, make informed decisions, do things wipe your own ass. That's how I wipe your own ass. I can wipe my own ass. I don't need anybody else to do the thinking for me. I've been thinking, all right? So if you're a child protection worker and you're a police officer, I'm sorry that you're about to lose all of the credit that you've went to school for, so you can gain information for perpetrators and hand them information on a silver platter so you can work your way up that fucking human centipede. You know, take that bullshit in your mouth, feed it to the next person, whoever's attached to your ass, right? Someone's asshole's attached to yours, I get it. You're just doing your job. But I'm not going to allow you to try and ruin my life. All right? I'm not allowing anyone to be in my beam because I'm not on here to beam. I'm not on here to listen to anybody. I'm not even reading the comments. I don't care about the comments. I care about getting my information out there so that people understand what they're subjecting themselves to when they comply, and what they're subjecting the next person to when they comply. Okay? And I know it's going to be full of police officers. I bet you they're sending my shit right through so they can be the only people in here. That's fine. You can be the only people in here. But I'm going to save this video, and it is going to be shared on all of my platforms, not just this one. And I know that my support doesn't look that great on here. That's fine. I'm okay with that, because I know that I do have friends and family, and I do know people that are experiencing the same thing that I am. And the truth will prevail. So here we go. That's with the father. This is, I think, the ministry. Oh, no, this is the courthouse. This is the family courthouse. Me trying to contact them and ask them how you're able to make a claim and what happens when you make a false claim. So this is really relevant information for anybody. This is a good one. It took a little while, sorry. I'm not calling people, they're recordings. Even if I wanted to read your comments, there's too many people on here to read them. Just fast forward. I don't know when it starts, so that's fucking pointless. So just be playing with it. You can't listen to a phone ring for 2 seconds. Get off of here. Then this isn't a live for you. Seriously, I'm not on here to convince people. I'm here to show you what I've gone through so that you don't. That's all. I can't control when someone answers the phone. I'm annoyed too. It's like 2 minutes in. They still didn't answer the phone. How do you think I felt sitting there? Don't care.
Hi, I have a few questions. If I was going to start a proceeding against somebody, would I have to provide evidence in order to start that process?
Well, it depends on what it is that what you're doing. Like all applications or motions to change are filed by filing particular forms as required under the family law rules.
But would I need to provide evidence if I was trying to prosecute somebody?
Prosecute, that's not family court, so I'm not really sure. Like, what is it that you're trying to do?
If I was trying to state a claim against somebody, would I have to provide evidence to support my claim?
But is it in family law or?
Yes. This is the family division, right? Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So if I was to state a claim...
Using terminology, start a claim and prosecuting, those are both criminal and civil.
Okay.
So,
and I corrected myself. So if I were to state a claim against somebody, would I have to provide evidence?
yes, it starts out as written evidence, so depending on the claims that you're making will dictate the forms that you need. So if you're trying to start an application, like if you don't have any separation agreement or court orders in place, then you would be starting an application, which is a Form 8. If you're making claims related to property, or divorce, you would need a financial statement, which is a Form 13. Any claims related to children would be a 35.1.
And would I need evidence to support my claim, or would I just be able to make a claim maliciously?
Well, the 35.1, like the evidence is contained in the written, like it's a sworn affidavit. So it's written evidence by way of affidavit information. If you're swearing a financial statement, then your evidence would be your notices of assessment.
So if I swore on a claim against a child and my claim was unfounded, what would happen to me?
So generally, once it makes its way through the court system, the judge can make orders against a party, whether it's an order for costs or order for disclosure or any other type of order. Like it's really in the judge's discretion, depending on what's outlined in the legislation as to what their powers are in regards to those types of claims.
All right, so if I was a child protection worker and I was to put a protection order against a family, what kind of evidence would I need to support that claim?
That I don't know. Usually child protection workers are have their own in-house legal counsel who would be giving them advice as to the type of information that they needed to put into their affidavits.
But you have to notarize that, right?
All affidavits that we accept are sworn evidence, yes.
So would you accept a protection order if you didn't know if they had evidence to support their claim or not?
We accept evidence by way of 14As, and when it gets to court, if there's any issues with the affidavit being false or whatever the case may be, that was the only person that could decide that, or the authentic.
Nobody let these negative comments bother you, because they are likely, it's again, the police and child protection workers, they're likely trying to report my account. They're probably going wild right now, calling their supervisors, look, she's at it again. That's all they've been doing. They've been they've proven this in court. Like they're stalking me at this point. They're harassing. This is all harassment. This is all evidence. All of these accounts that are on here are going to be investigated. There's people watching my accounts for me, and they're making sure that people are doing this so that they can go credit my claims even more. But I'm going to continue my conversation now.
Custody of the affidavit would be the judge.
All right, but what if the judge was getting lied to by what your court considers somebody that is a public entity but is not held liable for the misinformation that they spread?
Well, I mean, there's probably like recourse available. Like I believe the child protection agencies are appointed under the Children's Youth and Family Services Act. There would be a minister that's responsible for overseeing the administration of that act. So if parties feel that somebody has, acted outside of the scope of what they are entitled to do, you would need to do your own research to figure out like who's responsible for governing that particular child protection agency.
But you guys would accept their evidence knowing if they have a real claim or not.
So, and I meant to say their claim. You'd accept their claim without knowing if they have evidence to support it or not.
Knowing if they have a real claim or not.
The court staff, the filing office, which is where you're speaking to,
No, let them go off, guys. Let them go off, please. I'm hoping that they send it to all of the people in their little discords. This is not, like, I knew this was going to happen, but I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people that actually are genuinely concerned and want to know how to support their family, because this does happen.
we don't look at the contents of the affidavit. We're only looking at it to ensure that it is properly commissioned and filed in accordance with the timelines.
And you don't think that leaves room open for them to maliciously prosecute against parents?
But that would be the judge to make that determination. Our role is not to scrutinize the contents of the affidavit. It's up to the judge to determine the test of the evidence, to determine whether it is the judge can make the determination what kind of.
But if they're already under the impression that these workers are following these conditions when there is evidence to support that they're not, why is there not investigations being done on these organizations?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know you would have to determine who is responsible for overseeing the child protection agencies. If it is the Minister of Community Social Services, Children,
Which is who I call after this. Or, sorry, the ombudsman and then the ministry.
and youth services, whatever the case may be, they would have their own complaint mechanism.
This is a conversation with a notarizing clerk at the Barrie courthouse. So no, not a paralegal, because I was not asking for legal advice. I was asking about their process on notarizing a claim through the court.
Available on their website to tell the public or parties how to go about complaining about those organizations.
And are you aware?
And I'm going to give you a little background information. If you're going to complain about the Children's Aid Society while your investigation is going on, they will also try and sabotage your case. So I also have evidence to support that claim. I won't be bringing that on here today, but I will eventually provide it when I can, if I can, with God knows what's going to happen after all of this, because it seems like I'm triggering a lot of people.
Aware that once you do that, those agencies get that information to them and then they prosecute against those families harder?
Of course, I would not be aware of that because, again, that is not my role working in the court filing office to be aware of, what goes on outside of what my role is, right? My role is to look
She's
at the
aware.
document that's submitted to ensure that it's been properly served, that it's commissioned, that it is in line with the family law rule timelines, and if it's not, that a judge has ordered that we can.
And that's another thing. They also served me late. So good luck with that one, guys. Should have just followed the rules.
So you're not
That's all you had to
make sure
do.
that their evidence supports their claim at all?
No, we are not lawyers. That is the role of the judge. The judge, once it gets to court, will make that determination what type of weight to give to the evidence presented by both parties.
But that's how malicious prosecutions are starting, is because they're making false claims against families, and then they're served with a malicious claim, something that is unfounded, and then they have to then work against a claim that has no evidence.
But as I said, the ministry would be the governing body, or the oversight for the child protection agencies that are appointed by legislation. So if you have concerns regarding the protocols that they follow, then you would need to follow the complaint mechanism available.
And that's what I've already done that. I've already been prosecuted against maliciously twice, and both agencies withdrew their order. Now they're putting in a third application because
there is no claim. There's no claim if there's no evidence to support it. We're going to start there. There's no real claim if there's not evidence to support it. Okay? And in order to collect evidence, your claim has to be true. So that's why they're having a hard time collecting this evidence, and that's why most people will sign on consent, because they keep working towards this goal that was never there. There was never a claim. That's why people are in this system for years and years and years. But I'm going to continue playing this.
As you've already accepted the first two, why not try a third?
Well, and when it gets to before a judge, you have your opportunity if you're served with a new application.
I'm not accepting it. I declined because I know that they don't have evidence to support their claim.
And that's why they broke into my house.
I've spoken with them.
And if you choose to not participate in court proceedings, a judge may grant orders, default orders against a party. I would suggest getting some independent legal advice.
I don't need independent legal advice. I'm highly aware they've already disclosed to me, and I have that evidence, that they do not have evidence to support their claim.
Yet they were still able to file.
Up to the judge to make that determination.
Do you see how that...
This is the filing office. We accept documents based on parties filing them in accordance with the family law rules. Our role is not to determine the authenticity of those documents. That is
You're just there to ensure we comply with an agency that governs themselves?
Well, they came with 4 warrants, just they weren't signed.
Able to make complaints to the proper administrative.
But that's the thing, is I have evidence to support my claim. They know that I have evidence to support my claim, so now they're attacking my family, and now you're telling me I have to disprove those claims and then again wait to put another claim in front of the court, when they know that my claim has evidence to support it and they don't, and I have evidence to support that they don't have a claim.
Well, then you may want to contact the ombudsman for
Good, I hope people know where I live, because then they'll know where to look once my body can't be found. At least people will know where to look. At least they'll know where to start. All right? So I don't care if I'm giving people evidence to where I am, because at this point that makes me feel more safe than just the police knowing where I am. Okay? That should tell you a lot. That I don't care what kind of information I give out at this point, because I already know I have to move because of the police station. And honestly, I feel way better knowing that people on here know where I live. Come. All my neighbors are watching. All my neighbors are aware. I've went and told them all. They know their narrative and they know mine. Come at me. I don't care.
complaints regarding different agencies across the province. They're an independent agency, not part of the government, that's appointed to deal with these types of situations. Outside of that, as I said, this is the filing office. We don't review affidavits or people's individual cases to determine, whether something is malicious or not. That is solely in the discretion and the authority of the judge to make determination as to what evidence or weight to give to each party's submissions that they put forward.
So if a family's already been prosecuted against maliciously and their agency withdraws their case, what stipulates them being able to return to that family and reopen a case even after they've withdrawn and said the children were safe?
That's where you would have to do your own research to determine what...
This is me doing research.
Okay, and I've told you that this is the filing office, and there is nothing that we can do to...
You had a job to ensure that those people were not lying to you. So whether you decided to...
That is not our job. That is for the judge to decide. And the judge...
But the judge is
Where's
not
the
even given
evidence?
evidence, and they're working against families and with an agency that is prosecuting against
Yeah,
families
sorry, I'm
maliciously
passionate
and are
about
both
getting some
perpetrators.
answers. That's going to bother some people, I know.
Resources that you can, complain to these other agencies if you feel that...
I'm not calling to to complain. I'm calling and I'm wondering why you're allowing malicious prosecutions to be put forth your court without investigating them and where these claims are coming from. Because that is somebody's job, right? Somebody's, not yours specifically. But why aren't the judges doing that? And why are they coming to my house for the third time after all their claims have been unfounded and they never had evidence to support their claim?
How do you kidnap your own kid?
Why were they able to go for
I have custody of both my children.
Without anybody saying, didn't you already try this twice?
Well, and the court is not mandated to direct the children's, like the child protection agencies, how they run their operations. As I mentioned, there is a minister that's responsible for overseeing the...
But they're supposed to be registered if they're going to be conducting social work and putting in those claims and investigating and
assessing
against mental health and investigating those when they're not doctors or have any qualification to be doing that.
That's where, if you feel that they are harassing you, then you would need to take the steps to...
But I'm pretty sure a judge can see that, so why aren't they
I was upset at this point.
Public? Why are we allowing judges
100%.
to not stick up
You
for
should
the
be
public?
too.
You're literally admitting to me right now that you guys don't care. I have evidence to...
So yes, back in August, this is actually where I should have started. Back in August, I broke up with the father. I did not want to be in a relationship. I don't need to be in a relationship with the father. I don't have to explain what happened, but I broke up with him. I don't want to be in a relationship with him. Really never did want to. I don't care how that makes me look. Don't want to be. Didn't want to. Didn't need to be. All right? So he fled with our children. Fled. Took off. Did not allow me to see the children. I called the Children's Aid Society. I asked them. Well, he said they knew what was going on, right? So I'm like, well, where are my kids? They're like, oh, we don't even know, but they're safe. Okay, but that's not what I asked. I asked where my kids are. Okay? They did not want to help me find my kids. So I started filing my own motions. I called them every day, asked them, like, where are my children? You know what they did? They went on vacation. How would you feel if your partner took off with your kids, told you that you're never going to see your kids again? You told the police and the Children's Aid Society, and they just kept telling you, oh, they're safe, don't worry about it. Oh, they're safe, don't worry about it. Well, it turns out they weren't that safe, because when I filed my application, he also admitted to the entire courthouse, no problem, that he had plans to kidnap my children and to hold them hostage. All right? So you know what the judge did? The judge gave me custody of my children, as he should have. I have full custody, primary custody of my children. I have my claim in court. All right? That's what I did. I did this children. If they were that concerned about my children, then they would have took the concern seriously, investigated, and helped me. But they didn't. So I did their job for them. I put my claim in front of the court, and the judge, I'm glad I did what I did, because then the father was very pissed off and started calling CAS with the same claims that I already got the judge to go over and explain to him. And he endorsed a fucking order for me to have primary care. He did give, he asked me if I wanted the father to have rights. He gave me the opportunity to say no. He did. I chose to allow him to exercise his parental rights. I did. I chose, and that was my mistake, because he chose not to. For months and months and months and months, he chose not to exercise his rights. All right? Finally, he decides he wants to. Okay? And I ask him, what's that going to look like? Are you going to exercise them a little bit here, a little bit there? Or are you going to exercise your rights? Are you going to be consistent here? Because in order to protect my children, I need to ensure that you're making the best decision for the children as well, as a parent should. He did not have a straight answer for that. All right? Around the same time, my child started displaying stuff that I had questions about, that I was getting answers for, and was putting my own claims again in front of the court to investigate. While I was collecting this information, he was hammering the Children's Aid Society's phone, feeding them lies, anything to get them to come to my door to gain access to the children. And I said, where's the evidence to support your claim? Because the stuff they were telling me, I was like, that's not true. I don't need to open that's not true. Why would I open my door to something that I know is not true? That's insane. Go show me your evidence, then we'll have a conversation. Go register. All right? So knowing that what they were saying to me was not true, I told them, put your evidence before the court then. Put your claim in. Go do it. Go do it. I know, there's so many liberal clucks. They're so fucking hilarious. Go do it. That's what I told them. You have such a big claim against me. Go do it. So they took all the hearsay information the father gave them and they put a claim in. Okay? They had their claim in the court. By all means. Fine. Cool. Did I have to accept that claim? Did I have to subject myself to that prosecution? No. I did not. I had a right to say no because I knew that it was wrong. Okay? And if it had grounds, they would have been able to obtain a warrant. If it had grounds. Okay? If you don't believe me, go look this stuff up yourself. Okay? If they had grounds and their evidence met the shit to a fucking claim. I'm sorry, I am a little scrambled brain here. There's a lot going on in there. If their claim met the elements, then they would have been able to obtain a signed warrant. All right? That's where I'm upset. Okay? Because I already knew that they were trying to serve me with a malicious prosecution. The fact that they couldn't get this warrant signed confirms it. Okay? Because, again, if it met the elements of a claim, a judge would have jumped on that, right? Okay, unfortunately, it did not. And I'm not going to blame the police officers here because I don't even think the police officers opened, because it was all folded up. I don't even think they opened it and looked at the warrant. Because when I was sitting in my closet crying, like petrified because they broke down my door, as would anybody, they showed me a warrant that had no signature on it and still pried my son out of my arms. And I still have that mental image, and I'm going to show you that image so you guys can all feel how I felt when I was on my bed protecting my children. Okay? So we're going to continue this conversation because at the end of it, I did try to ask, okay, so which judge accepted this claim to go through so that I could put my own claim against them? You want to know what happens? We're going to play.
To support my claim, and you're not making sure that their evidence is there to support their claim, yet and then they're literally funding you guys? Is that how you guys have a job?
The judges are appointed by a process in the country, and they are overseen by the Judicial Council. So if you feel that judges have erred in how
there's 4 of them, remember? I can touch one.
To the Judicial Council and make complaints regarding that. If you feel that the
okay, but if I'm not even accepting,
and if the judge signed it, right? If the judge gave it to you and you got it from the judge, then their fingerprints would be on it, wouldn't it? We'll go there.
okay, I apologize.
If you have determined that the child protection agencies are harassing you or acting outside of what the scope of they're allowed to do, you can complain to the minister's office. You can also file a complaint with the Ombudsman for Ontario. These are all other resources outside
But what's
of that.
stopping them from calling the police and trying to serve me with another malicious prosecution, wasting my time, my resources, and my energy, and they know that, and you're allowing them to take advantage of me and my family?
And that's where I've told you that you need to get some independent legal advice.
Okay, but I'm not even going to I'm not allowing them to do that, so I don't need independent legal advice. I want to know what judge gave them permission to serve me today.
A judge is not the one that's giving permission. Their authority is set out in the legislation.
Somebody said that their claims met.
If it has been brought to their attention that there is a child in need of protection, they are bound by what's set out in the Child Youth Family Services Act.
But if they know that child is not in the need of protection because they've already tried 2 times, what judge is dumb enough to let them go for the third? I would like to know what judge tried to allow them to go for the third prosecution on my family.
Would not get to a judge's stage until
They tried to serve me today, so it went through.
filed an application with the court.
So what judge allowed that? What judge is allowing the children's aid? You're cutting me off now. What judge allows the Children's Aid Society to prosecute against families maliciously and deprive them from their fundamental
I
rights?
told you that the child protection agencies, their authority is set it in the legislation.
But you guys are expecting me to comply with them, and if I don't comply with them, then it reflects on my parenting ability when I'm just trying to protect my family.
Well, and you can do your research and go to all the
I've
other
done my
agencies.
research.
And you know what? She understands how I felt because I have talked to this woman several times before and I have apologized to her. At that moment, I was very upset. My children were just deprived from my arms. So if you can't understand what that feels like, then stay tuned because you're going to. All right? And after I show you and you're subjecting yourself to those things, like, don't get mad when this stuff happens to you. That's all I have to say. I'm not here to prove anything, right? I was upset, 100%. Did I direct my anger at the wrong person? 100%. Did she understand? She's dealt with a lot worse than that because of her position. She took that job. She knows there's going to be angry parents because they're allowing the malicious prosecutions to go through. Not me. She notarized that. I'm just trying to let her know, like, that's not right. There's somebody's going to get more upset than me. That's all I'm trying to say. Is if they're allowing that to happen, someone eventually is going to be more upset than me when they catch on to them taking advantage of people. That's all.
Research again. This is my research. I would like. So I'm going to give you my name. Listen, I'm going to give you my name, and your job is to tell me what judge gave them permission to come to my house today. All right?
I can take your name.
No, you're gonna go look because I'm not consenting to be served.
You are becoming abusive and disrespectful.
No, I'm not.
At that point,
You're
she hung up on me because I just wanted to know the judge's name and she kept over talking me. If it went through, then that judge read it and he said it met the elements of the claim. So I just want to know which judge so I can have a conversation with him. Why was that so hard to do? If it met the elements of the claim, I don't understand. Why can't I know which judge? All right? So she told me that I should call the ombudsman and the ministry if you can keep up. Remember? So I did those things because I was very upset. And this is what you should be doing when you're very upset. Okay? I wasn't going to call a judge. I was going to serve him. In civil.
Hi, I'm calling.
Well, wait,
to
this
find out
is...
why.
Yeah, no, that one's more of a... That's me calling the Children's Aid Society. Sorry. I would obviously put that, but I gave out identifying information. Sorry, I gave out identifying information, so I can't play that one. That is me calling the Children's Aid Society, trying to figure out where my children are.
They've asked me to call you. I work for the regional office with Ministry of Children and Community Social Services. So in my portfolio would be...
You can serve a judge. I'm sorry, you're under the impression you can't?
and other agencies. So is there anything I can help you with?
I would just like to know why my family is being maliciously prosecuted against.
Oh, a stable mother wouldn't protect her children? Bye.
Maliciously?
Oh,
And being harassed for protecting, and I'm like, they're infringing my rights and they've done it in the past and I'm just standing up for them, so why are they coming after my family and investigating reports without investigating where they're coming from and gathering evidence?
They're not protected from prosecution.
Muskoka CAS.
It's way more than that. It's organized crime at this point.
Organized crime is investigating you?
This has gone on since I was a child. I was abducted. No. I was abducted from school, signed over on consent by someone who was not my biological parent. I was abused through the system. And then they took advantage of me as an adult. They kidnapped my daughter from the hospital, held her hostage for 3 years. Like, this is way beyond, like, this is grounds for an extremely huge civil lawsuit.
Which is happening.
Collecting data for my whole life.
You're well within your right to launch any lawsuit.
I am, and that's why they're still coming after me, because they know that if they have a claim in court still, that it's going to be hard for me to launch a civil suit. They're aware. And then not only that, they then put my daughter in danger, harm's way, and she's exposing them, so now they're targeting her as well. She's 3. So how do I protect myself when they're going to get warrants? They're probably trying to obtain a warrant right now to get into my home. They've done it in the past with my son when I would not give him over. Like, this is the 3rd time. This is not the 1st time. This is not the 4th, actually, because they did it to me. And then they came after my daughter. They got her. They came after my son. I would not allow that.
No lawyer is going to fix this.
Both of my children.
It's the community's job to fix this at this point.
Your son and your daughter?
Yes.
If you want this to happen to you, by all means.
At home with you right now?
Yes, they are. And they are not going anywhere.
Well, the CAS can only take action once they've gone to court and gotten an order from a judge. You know.
But that's the problem, is these judges are not investigating where these claims are coming from, and they're allowing them to put these claims in court without having evidence to support their claim. That's what happened with my daughter, and they admitted it. I have all the evidence to support my claims. But I want to know, how do I protect myself when they get that warrant, and they have enforcement officers coming to my door, and I have to defend myself? Do I have to, live stream it so the entire world sees? Because I have platforms with...
Because that's going to happen next time.
46,000 followers on one. I have 16,000 followers on the other one. I have a Snapchat that has over 5,000 subscribers. So that's at least 60,000, 70,000 people that are going to watch. But my neighbors are just going to, videotape too? They're all aware. We're aware that this happens. What do I do to protect my...
The dad can make whatever claims he wants. He has to have evidence to support those claims. He can't gather evidence to support claims that are not true. So, again, this is why I called the ministry, so I can ask her, how do I protect myself when they all act on a malicious claim? Do you not get that? Like, I get you're really mad that you guys came into my house, unlawfully, detained a bunch of my stuff, unlawfully searched and seized all of my devices. I get it. You're really upset that I'm exposing you right now, but the reality is, if you would have just did your job, I wouldn't have to do this. I don't want to do this either. I didn't choose to not do my job. You have due process to follow. I apologize. I'm enforcing you to do that. You can't be a child protection worker and go into someone's home without evidence to support your claim. You can take an anonymous tip, but you still need to gather enough evidence to support that claim. It doesn't mean you have to expose who gave it to you, but you do have to gather the evidence to support the claim before you put it in court. I'm sorry that bugs you, but that is the reality, and you should not be taking families to court if you don't have evidence to support your claim, because when you get to trial, you're going to look pretty fucking stupid, right? That's how I got my first daughter back, because you didn't have evidence to support your claim. I'm sorry that it took me 2.5 years for me to educate myself and realize that, but now that I know that they do prosecute families without evidence to support their claim, and they can make them go through all of these little courses and do all these little things so that they can keep the child longer, so they can take advantage of the children longer, whether people want to believe that or not, the evidence is there. That's why they redact the information. That's why when you get your disclosure, they start to panic, because once people figure out the truth, they wake up and they don't open their door. All right, I didn't open my door. I didn't have to open my door. My evidence supports my claim. I'm glad that I didn't, because if I would have opened my door, it would have been worse. I would have consented to everything that they did. I didn't consent to them breaking down my door without a signed warrant to kidnap my children and then alert you all to then go and help them kidnap my other child. You don't understand what they did. They subjected you all to a civil lawsuit too. If anybody was outside searching for my child without a real claim in the courts, If I knew, I could subject you to a civil suit. I'm not going to. But I'm just saying, you are literally helping them kidnap children. I can keep explaining it to you, but you are the ones that now have to do your own due diligence in order to protect your children, to go see what I'm saying is true or not. It's not for me to convince you. The evidence is here. You can go look for it. I'm sticking up for not only my rights, but every single Canadian parent's rights right now. And they just told every single Canadian parent that if you break up with your partner and your partner calls maliciously and has zero evidence to support those claims, that they're then going to get an unsigned warrant and break into your house and then take their children for them. Does that sound fucking fun? Do you want to go through that? Because other parents are going through that. I'm sorry that I'm choosing to speak up about it and trying to educate people and they're not receptive to the information. That's fine. But I am putting this information out for the people who are concerned and who do want to know how to actually protect themselves, because complying with perpetrators, I'm sorry, is not protecting you or the next person. It is actually making it a lot harder for the next person to prove that when they are abused by the system, that their claims are founded. So I get it. You guys are all conditioned to believe that they only have the best interest, right? Okay, so how come they're taking they'll literally say in open court that I was abused in their care. And then they'll try and victimize me and say, oh, she's only saying this because she was abused. No, I'm saying this because there is abuse in your system. This is not about my abuse. This is about the abuse that they subject children to in general. This is a generalized thing. This is not just happening to me. When you sign your child on consent, you are admitting that you were guilty to something that you did not do, likely 75% of the time, because they do not have the qualifications to actually help a parent. They can't assess you because they're not a registered social worker. If they just registered with the college, then they would be qualified to assess parents and then give them, therefore find out what they need help with and then give them the help that they need. But when they don't register with the college, that makes them unqualified. And when they're assessing you, they're actually investigating against your family. So if you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm not here to shove information down your throat. I'm just here to let you know so you can make informed decisions for yourself. Okay? Yes, that may make people seem a little bit scared. I would be scared too. I am scared because I know I'm the only person that seems to be wanting to talk about this. And if I'm the only person, I'm fine. I'll take that. But this is a call from the ministry. And then it's really convenient. After I had this phone call with the ministry, the next day they were coming in my house with an unsigned warrant. An hour after, I had Bell come here because my malware was compromised and they were monitoring my data. Okay? So I have evidence to support every single claim I'm going to show on here. It's going to be a long live, so stay fucking tuned. Okay? This isn't fun for me to talk about. This is actually scary, and I wouldn't be surprised if they tried knocking on my door while I'm on this broadcast. But really, I got to talk about it, because if I don't talk about it, the next person's not going to be able to, because there is a stigma attached to being involved in Children's Aid Society, because they created that stigma. They want you to believe that stigma. That does not mean that stigma is true. Okay? Because when they start discriminating against parents and depriving them of their constitutional rights, that means we're not in Canada anymore. All right? That means we're just not in Canada. I don't know where the fuck I am, but I'm not in Canada. My rights have been infringed upon. So if my rights can be infringed upon, and I have evidence to support that claim, they're coming in with unsigned warrants, taking my doorbell off, deleting evidence off my phone, searching and seizing things unlawfully. If you want to subject yourself to that, by all means. But I'm just here to show you Ontario. This is happening in Ontario. But this is a nationwide problem. All right? This doesn't just happen in Ontario. This happens in England. This happens in America. This happens in fucking Israel. This happens in... This is a nationwide issue. If you don't believe me, I invite you to just go on Facebook quickly right now. Go on a group, like type in CAS parental fucking stop taking my kids, anything in a random area, and you will find a support group where parents are talking about these exact things that I'm telling you about right now. But it's sad that we have to create our own platforms because we know people like this are so conditioned to believe that they would have had a signed warrant and there would have been a reason for them to be here. I believed that at one point too. I thought I was safe too. That's why my door wasn't barricaded the way it is now. All right? I had those same beliefs even when I grew up in foster care, and I didn't even know why. Nobody told me. I didn't even put two and two together that I was also kidnapped. I was signed on. My mom didn't sign me over, all right? My sister's dad was not a biological parent. Whose kid am I? Right? I don't even know whose kid I am. Okay? I'm confused. So yeah, I don't know where to start with my information. I 100% am confused because of what they're doing. I didn't do this to myself. I did not do this to myself. But you're doing it to yourself if you don't educate yourself. That's all I'm saying. So this is the ministry telling you that you're not safe. Okay, so I'm going to continue this instead of ranting because I am a little upset that you guys just want to believe the false narrative and work for people that have you attached to their ass so they can hold you accountable for doing their dirty work. You're part of the human centipede, all right? Their asshole is sewn to your mouth so you can take the bullshit, pass it through your body, and shit into the next person's mouth. Okay? So that's the job you want? By all means. But I don't trust you anymore. Okay? Go be a human centipede. I don't fucking care. But everyone's going to call you guys a human centipede. Okay? Go be a human centipede. I don't care. But I'm not feeding people bullshit anymore. I'm going to tell the truth. And I'm not going to stop telling the truth. Go back into your chain. Because that's the only way you know how to eat and feed the next person. That's sad. I'm sorry that I can sustain myself. And that I'm looking for support off of the human centipede. That's what's pissing them off. Don't have kids. Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, no one should be having kids until this problem is solved. Because you're actually putting your kid in harm's way. Because they're telling you right now that they can come do whatever they want to you whenever they want to.
Myself, and how are you guys going to protect my family against this? Or are you going to tell them to continue prosecuting me?
I don't tell them how to do their work. They have to follow the law, and the police have to follow the law.
But I'm telling you they're not. I called the police yesterday when CAS tried to harass me, because that's what it was. It was harassment. I know they don't have evidence to support their claims. And the police had the
I don't have to be a 1% though.
Their claims to help me with my claim, and they chose not to. I have that on video as well. It's an 8-minute video of them coming to my property, telling me that they're there to support the Children's Aid Society and to make sure that I keep the peace and to allow the society to serve me with a malicious claim instead of helping me investigate.
I don't want to interrupt.
Why would they need a peace officer there if their claim was like, not gonna make them be put in harm's way once they made? If they're safe, if their claim is not gonna, cause a ruckus because the parents know that it's not true, why would they need a peace officer to be there?
But Elizabeth, are they coming to apprehend your children, or are they coming to serve you papers?
It's the same thing.
Well, which one is it that they're coming?
It's the same thing. Once they serve me, I have to prove my claim in court, and their allegations are severe. They're trying to gain access to my children because also they've been exposed for, like, my daughter released the fact that they were abusing her in their care as well. So now what? They're gonna gain access to my daughter and then torture her more and break that bond again?
Yes.
What is my defense, though? You need to explain to me what my defense is once they try to, again, prosecute me maliciously, because it's not that...
I'd only be pouring gas on my fire if everyone still continued to open their door, which, fine. Again, like I said, you want to open your door to the human centipede, by all means, but don't get mad when you have to sew your fucking mouth to their asshole, take the shit and feed it to the next person behind you. That's not my fault. I'm not part of that.
That it's never happened. It happens twice, and they're coming for a third time.
Do you have a lawyer?
CS doesn't kidnap. They don't kidnap. They don't come without a signed warrant.
The society's claims. They would get me to sign on consent to comply just like the judges. Everyone wants me to comply here. Right?
There are no allegations against me.
Yeah, I would believe that if I didn't already go through this twice and know what exactly is going on.
Go be a liberal somewhere else.
I know that's not the truth. And if there was one, I would have to take a really long time to find one that's going to help me defend myself against the whole system. You know that too, don't you? Don't fucking call me to tell me bullshit, because I'm recording this conversation, ma'am, just like every other conversation I've had for the last 2 days because of this. And actually for the last 4 years.
If my kids are being harmed, then they'd be able to get the warrant. You're dumb.
The family court system is a horrible situation to get into, and being involved with the Children's Aid Society is a highly intrusive and difficult process.
No kidding. They raped me. The police,
and other
police
children.
officer gave a referral for a pedophile when I was a child. They took advantage of me. The pedophile served 14 months, got let out on good behavior, and now has access to more children. That same police officer is on the board of directors and is vice president in the Children's Aid Society of my hometown, and is actively
Of Sault Ste. Marie.
against
Sean Sparling.
so that I keep my mouth shut. And keep
Look it up.
dirty little
Go look up
secret
Vernon
to
Lucas.
myself.
Go look all this shit
That's
up.
not
It's not a lie.
No, I understand. You're very, I can tell you're very...
No, I'm educated. I'm not upset. I know what's going on. I'm very aware. Don't try and play this down, because this is I'm
Victimize
not the first
me.
person this happens to. Most families just sign their children on consent.
Oh,
Which is
girl,
wrong.
what are you going to do? Come back in my house without a warrant?
Every family has their own unique circumstances.
No, they don't. That's the problem. Is these people are doing this to a lot of people, and I'm exposing it. They do not have the rights to prosecute against families malicious.
A lawyer's not going to save anyone at this point. What's the lawyer going to do for us all? All right, we have to make the decisions ourselves, okay? The lawyer's not going to save us anymore. The lawyers are working with the perpetrators. There's got to be a point where you realize these people are educated by perpetrators. Again, there's a huge human centipede going on. If you want to attach your mouth to their asshole, by all means. But this is how you unattach your mouth from their asshole. You educate yourself and you take yourself out of the chain. You close your door and you say, fuck you. All right?
Open an investigation without evidence to support their claim, and then get those families to sign their children over on consent, or what? They walk away and they just get the child, or they kill themselves. Those are the only options. And I'm the
If someone recorded this, you'd get in so much. Are you serious? Who are you going to show this to? The minister? The ministry? The ones that kicked in my door? You don't think I've already gotten shit? I don't care. I'll roll in the shit as long as the next person behind me doesn't have to eat it. Does that make sense to you? I will roll in the shit so the next person behind me doesn't have to eat it. Okay? You can attach, girl. You can keep attached. Keep thinking you're doing it for the best interest of the children. But you're a perpetrator just as much as they are, because you're giving them access. All right? And this is the truth. Oh. Fuck. I think that was what, 37? No, 38. I will roll in the shit as long as the next person doesn't have to fucking eat it.
malicious claim.
I can't answer that question. I don't know. I said that you could seek legal counsel.
They're not accusing me of anything.
Make sure you collect all the evidence that you have, but other than that, I
So
can't.
you're going to allow them to prosecute me maliciously. That's what you're telling me.
I'm not involved with your case, so I can't answer that question.
So what was the point of you calling me? How can you help? What can you ask me? What can you do?
Yeah.
Tell me what you can do.
I'm limited. You're right. I'm limited by what I can do. I can certainly let you know of the complaints process and the review board. I can let you know of the ombudsman's office that you can contact on behalf of your children.
You don't think I didn't do that before I contacted you? So what? Give
Oh,
her
and
that but you
if
know-
anybody has any messages from this hick chick with lashes, make sure you are sending that evidence towards me, because she is in the middle of a prosecution as well. I am taking her to civil court because she likes to spread misinformation. Vernon Lucas only got 90 days. She's telling the truth. He got 14 months and only served evenings and weekends and got let out at 12 for good behavior. That's the truth. I appreciate you kind of looking into that to the best of your ability, but Vernon Lucas is a known pedophile in the area of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. He molested me and pled guilty to that charge, and now he has access to another child, Thomas Lucas. So yes, I'm giving out information about a child because nobody is protecting that child. You hear me? Nobody's protecting these children. Oh yeah, you're helping so much, Aisha, little chick with lashes. Why aren't you going to see my little brother? You're a foster parent, right? You're for the best interest of your child, for children. Why don't you go help my little brother? You're in that hometown. I know I can't set foot there because the police know that I know all their dirty secrets. You're going to have to move after this girl. Okay? I'm exposing a lot of stuff. I get it. I'm putting my life at risk. But if I don't talk about it, nobody will, and people are going to get hurt. Okay? I'm not in the system. I was emancipated for a reason. No. I'm sure you would, Aisha. I'm sure you would. You'd probably take advantage of him. That seems like the type. You can't even go and investigate the own body you work for? Okay. Like, that's kind of weird.
Know that once I give the information to the ombudsman, that they then send that information to the perpetrators.
The ombudsman is the most...
I already have on recording what they do and how they do it. So tread lightly, miss.
Okay, no problem. I'm not here to judge your opinion. That's fine.
You have no right to. I've exposed everything that's going on. I've put the pieces together. So now you're going to tell me what you can do. What you can do about my situation, because I know what I can do, and I did it, and I already know that they're going to come after me. So what? I'm going to bear arms?
Well, it seems like it. You're not even investigating the body that you're working for, Aisha. You're so offended, but yet you won't even go look. Don't be offended with me. That's your ego, girl. Your ego's tripping. Aisha, I'm going to call you out. I'll call out anybody on here because that's what I do. Don't come on my post and expecting me to treat you how you feel right now. I'm not feeding your ego. I'm telling you the truth. Go look at where you're working. Stop pretending you're helping children. We know what happens in those homes. All right? Just because you might not, I hope that you don't, because when people found out that you do, you're subjecting yourself to the exact same shame that they're going to receive. I'm not hiding the light, and I don't feel ashamed for what they're doing. Okay, I don't, because I know what they're doing, so I'm trying to protect my children and my family.
Would I have to do bear arms to defend me and my family?
I'm not saying...
And no, my adoptive mom died. Like I said, I grew up in the system. My adoptive mom died, and they gave my little brother to the adoptive father who molested me. That's so safe. They have the best interest of children, guys.
Saying that...
But they're going to come to my house with guns? So what do I do when they come to my house?
You do it out of kindness. Nobody does stuff for you just admitted to being a perpetrator pedophile. I'm going to warn everybody about you. You have no idea.
And they didn't have any.
No idea.
That's why they put their claim in the court, because I would not do their investigation or whatever they want. Comply. I'm not complying, so they went to the judge. That's what they do.
That is the appropriate process to go to court, ma'am.
You have to have evidence to support your claim.
They have to have evidence to support their claim, right?
Which you can't get evidence if it's not fucking true.
They tried to have a mature discussion, and they would not let me know why they were investigating my family. So why would I be a part of an investigation where I don't even know why I'm being investigated? So they can, gather more information against me to prosecute me? Because that's what happened in the past.
When you go to court and you're served papers, it generally...
I'm not taking those papers. I'm not consenting to this malicious prosecution.
No, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying the papers would identify the evidence that you're talking about. The papers would identify what the claims are.
No, it's
yeah, that's not evidence,
I'm calling
though.
the courthouse and I'm finding out which judge allowed that claim to be put in court so I can prosecute him.
Okay.
That's my moves right now. But when I called the courthouse to find out which judge did that, they hung up the phone on me. So that seems a little suspicious.
You're seeing not a good result in this matter. Why? Because I'm investigating claims? That seems a little suspicious. Kind of like someone who doesn't want to get exposed would say. You guys are just exposing yourself on here. Honestly, if you're not doing this, you're not protecting your child.
Well, it's not appropriate. I can't speak for what happened to your phone call to the court. Cause
I can play it for you if you'd like to hear it.
Well, I'm not disputing your experience. hearings. I'm just saying I can't speak for the court. I don't work for the court.
You do it for the pride, don't you,
I
Aisha?
don't know what happened.
Just
Did
to
you
say
call
it.
back?
You're
Was it a-
special
They were
kind.
not going to answer if I called back.
You're a
Are you
special
serious?
kind.
Like, I bet you if I call again, I'm going to be recording today when
I feel
call
bad
them
for
again
children.
to make sure that
You're so
I'm right, because that's what they did to me. I asked what judge allowed that to happen, and they hung up the phone on me. So now I'm going to call again. They're going to hang up the phone on me again. So they're protecting perpetrators, because that's all I'm seeing is perpetrators. Not to mention when the police came to my door yesterday and I disclosed that my daughter disclosed abuse, and that we can call my doctor and we can call lawyers to see what our options are, they still chose to defend the society and ran off my property once I exposed them. They ran. Everyone ran. They stopped trying to serve me once I started exposing them. But that doesn't mean they're not going to go try and now get a warrant. And a judge that if a judge is going to allow them to put a malicious claim in front of the court, there's going to be a judge that's going to allow them to have a warrant. So what are my options now that I know what their next moves are? What are my next moves other than getting a lawyer and then allowing them to serve me with their malicious claim and go through court for 3 more fucking years like I did before until they prove that their claim was never, this is insane.
No evidence to support their claim again? Sorry.
I avoided the problem before it happened. So what are my options now that they're most likely going to do that? Defend myself?
You should get a lawyer. That would be your best option.
I'm not, even when I prosecute them in civil court, I'm not using a lawyer. Because then I have to give my proceeds to that lawyer, and that's not fair. I worked for everything that I did.
It's a recording.
And I will do everything myself.
Just like I have to right now.
Independent. I applaud you for that.
Nobody did this for me. This is what I needed when I was a child, when I was being abused, when they took advantage of me. I will not allow them to take advantage of my children again, because they already took advantage of my daughter. I have claims to support that. And now you're telling me I might have to allow them to take my kids again, and I have to prove in court that their claims are again unfounded? That seems insane.
Elizabeth, those are your words. I suggested that you get a lawyer so you can have proper advocacy when you go to court, because judges don't really like it when people self-defend. I mean, I know that.
Oh, I know that too. Guess what? Yeah. Too fucking bad, because it's my right in Canada, is it not?
Oh, of course it
Pissed.
It is. So stop telling me to retain counsel so that you guys can find out what information, because that's what happened. You guys feed the information to the perpetrators. What, gain counsel so you know what claims I have? Is that what you want me to do? Get counsel so the counsel can give all of the information, take all my notes and give them to the perpetrators, and then don't defend me? Because that's what happens. It's been happening in Canada
Sign the
for
consent.
years, and I'm
Just sign the
exposing
consent.
it.
Do what they want. Just comply. That's what they get you to do, right? You think that's helping the next person? By all means. Dumb.
Can you get somebody real to call me? Because I don't think you're the fakest bitch that I've talked to this whole week.
I'm the what?
Fakest? You're pretending you don't know what's going on right now. And I can hear in your voice that you do. You're hyper aware, aren't you? And you don't care? You don't care that they're molesting and abusing children and protecting perpetrators? You really don't care? I hope you don't have kids, ma'am. Because karma's a fucking bitch.
Well, we do have my own children.
Well, you know what? How would you feel if your daughter came to you and said she was sexually assaulted by strangers, and you trusted those people to protect your children? How would you feel? Just tell me how you would feel.
Go to the police.
Go to the police. So the perpetrators, I bet you those people paid for access to my child at one point.
Not uncommon.
Because the information that the society is giving me is redacted. And once I find out who had access to my children, hell is going to break loose.
Yeah, you're making it worse for yourself being on my account right now.
That's what they're scared of, that I'm not going to call the police. Because I know the police protect perpetrators. They were just on my property yesterday. The police are in my family. Police are part of their system. I'm exposing you guys. What, do you have access to children too? Is that why you're defending them as well? And you're telling me to give my information to perpetrators? So do I need to look into you more and find out what you do with your spare time?
Feel free.
What's your name, please? Your full name.
Making accusations.
What's your full name?
Olga.
Olga? What's your last name?
Kratyk hyphen KOB as in Bob SA.
Thank you. You are now on the list where my private investigators are investigating.
I have no fears. Thank you. That's fine. I welcome that. Every job that I have in the ministry requires a vulnerable sector check. So please feel free. That's fine.
Yeah, I already know how that goes.
Those are not appropriate either.
Are you serious? We're gonna not act like you can't give somebody $100 and because we give everyone the bare minimum that they're not gonna do something for you? We know that money makes the world go round, baby. And I follow the money. So I really hope that any money that you guys are using is physical paper, because anything that you guys left a trail with, just like the society, they leave a big, huge paper trail. I have all the papers. So I really hope that after this discussion, you don't call anybody to expose what I'm doing, because that data will be collected. Anyone who calls my phone automatically has their...
I can get a lawyer, no problem. I don't want a lawyer, and if you were here, you would know that once you retain a lawyer, they don't follow the confidential their client, whatever privilege, their confidentiality. They breach it. Okay, all they got to do is go for drinks, talk about your stuff, slip them the fucking notebook, and then request it back, because that's exactly what happened to me. Believe it or not, I don't care. Go get your lawyer. Go see what happens.
Their data collected onto a device. And anyone who's part of this, it's the same thing. Just like you guys do to us, I'm doing it to you guys. I'm investigating everybody who's supporting their claim and who's not actively trying to make the best interest of the children, because all you had to do was make sure the society was registered. That's all you guys had to do. But you're allowing child protection workers come to my house
and assess children.
We have a college that's supposed to regulate these bodies, but you're not enforcing that, are you? I wonder why. We have these things to protect the public's interest, and you're not enforcing that, and you're telling the public...
She has the best interest of the public, and she's telling me she doesn't even regulate if the child protection workers are registered with the college or not. Do you know what registering with the college does? It protects you. All right? You don't want them to register with the college? That's on you. You're subjecting yourself to be taken advantage of. Like, I'm just letting you guys know so you can protect yourself. Okay? I already know how to protect myself. I'm doing everything I can. They're going to work against me because I'm exposing them. I already know that. I'm used to that because I never kept secrets. I've never been able to, and I'm never going to. So if you don't want the shit to fucking come out about you, don't do it. All right?
Public, that we need to protect ourselves by giving the information to the perpetrators. I'm aware where the information goes. I've had my notebook given to the perpetrators. They then used all of that evidence against me. I don't have the time nor the resources to find that one lawyer that's going to protect my children as much as I am I? There's no one in history. That's why I'm doing this myself, and I won't stop.
What college? In Ontario, if you are going to be conducting social work, you need to be registered with the College of Social Work and Social Service Work. If you're going to assess families, you need to be a registered social worker. If you want to investigate and prosecute a family in court, then you can be a child protection worker. If you don't believe me, the information is available. I'm not here to explain it to everybody. You can go and look yourself. And as someone that's part of the ministry, she is supposed to make sure that they are doing their job, that they are being regulated, that they are protecting the public, and they are doing their job for the best interest of the public. But she just told me she's not going to do that. All right? She just told me and you guys that she's not going to do that and that she hasn't been. So what the fuck are we paying her for? What are we paying her for? That's my question. What is her money going to? Why is she getting paid? She has one job. One job to protect the fucking children. Okay? They don't want to do their job. Why are we paying them? That's my question. Why are they getting paid? Okay? If you don't want your children to be there, she's admitting that she knows that children are not being protected. This is someone from the Ministry of Child and Family Services telling you, not just me, telling everybody in Canada right now that she is not doing her job and we're paying her to not do her job. Okay? And I bet you her salary is fucking great and she loves it. Okay? We should all be looking up this girl collectively right now and investigating her more collectively before the information that I get gets out. But you can go do your own investigation and see how much this girl gets paid to not do her job.
So I suggest you get off the phone with me and figure out what the fuck you can do, and maybe enforce the society to, register with the college so they can be regulated and people are aware of what they're doing, instead of telling me to get counsel and let them shove their shit up my ass again. I'm not a human.
I don't remember her specific title, but I will go back to the beginning. After this, there's like 8 minutes left of me reaming her out for not doing her job, like everybody should be doing right now, not just me. It's just me that's going to be upset. I hope everybody in Canada knows that we're paying people to not do their jobs.
Human centipede, miss. They're trying to shove bullshit down my throat so I can feed it to the next person. So they can sew the next person to my asshole and it goes down their throat.
Elizabeth, I'm not being inappropriate using profanity with you. If you don't wish to speak any further, I wanted to suggest...
What are you going to do after this conversation with the information that I just shared with you? Are you going to investigate it, or are you just going to keep telling me to retain counsel?
I don't have the resources that you claim where I can spend time investigating phone calls.
That's your
Just
job,
report me,
miss.
right? Is that what she told you to do?
Your
Just
job is
report
to
it?
protect the public, right? When you entered this job...
This is someone in the Ministry from Child and Family Services letting you know that she doesn't know how to do her job. She has one job, and that is to make sure that the people working in the Children's Aid Society are regulated and registered with the College of Social Work and Social Service Work. And she just told me on the phone, and I have record, that she does not need to do her job, that she can still get paid to do her job, and you guys are paying her.
What were the what's your...
I'm not a police officer. It's not my job to protect the
But you can call the police and you can instruct them to investigate what's going on instead of investigate my family. But you're choosing not to. You're going to allow them to prosecute me again maliciously.
Oh, I was crying. Does that bother you?
Counsel, it's coming. You just threaten me. When you do have the authority to call the police and tell them
She's trying to protect her reputation.
the claims.
Let her.
All they have to do is go into I give them consent to go into my case file and to look at it and to read it properly.
My kids were kidnapped by the police after I had this conversation with whoever's from the ministry and told them that I'm aware that they just kidnapped children. And they came in my house with an unsigned warrant and then made you guys all do their dirty work for them so that they don't get prosecuted in civil court. They would just say, oh, look, someone from the public found her. Like, you guys don't understand what's going on. I'm trying to explain it to you. Try to keep up, please. Sorry, and I don't mean to be rude, but at this point, this information is and has been readily available for everybody, and anybody can call and ask these same questions that I am, yet it seems like I'm a Karen. Hey, I'm a Karen. I'm a Karen because I'm asking questions that we should all be asking. Why are we paying these people to not do their job? I did not kidnap my own kids. I have custody of my children. I have a court order dated on September 2nd. You can call the Barrie courthouse and you can ask for, tell them that this video is consent for everybody to know that I do have custodial rights, primary custodial rights of my children, and that the police actively assisted the Children's Aid Society in Barrie to kidnap my children unlawfully and unlawfully search and seize my home with an unsigned warrant. Okay? You're safe though. Y'all are safe. I'm a Karen.
Look at it and explain to them exactly what's going on.
So then, Elizabeth, why are the CAS involved in your case? Because I don't know your case. Why are they...
And no, I'm not getting upset at people. I'm getting upset at the liberals who think they can come on my post right now. And I have every right to be upset. And the fact that you guys can't be upset with me, and there are people on here that are trying to discredit what I'm saying because they know it's true, but they get paid to tell you it's not. All right? Because nobody wants damaged goods, right? Nobody wants damaged goods.
They discriminated against my mental health after they abused me in their care. They said I have PTSD.
So there are concerns about your parenting capacity?
No. They discriminated against my mental health. They're not registered social workers, so they were not able to
Conduct an assessment.
And also they're not allowed to do that.
Sorry, it was a long day.
Are you serious? You're not supposed to discriminate against anyone's mental health. That does not.
Read the charter.
Discriminate against anyone for any reason, period.
But they are.
That's what they're doing. On disability, mental health, sex. I was a female. They didn't prosecute their dad. They came after me.
Yep, my name is
There's
Elizabeth
3 things
Lucas.
right there.
Tell it to the world.
Probably my religion, for all I know.
My name is Elizabeth Lucas. I am adopted. I am aware that the Children's Aid Society gives children to perpetrators. I was sex trafficked. Let's call it what it is, because that's what they do. They traffic children for sexual purposes, not all the time, but if you have a referral, you are allowed to pay for a child and then do whatever you want to said child, and they do not investigate that. And my case speaks to that, and a lot of other people's case speaks to that. And this is somebody from the ministry telling you that she knows, but she's not going to make the Children's Aid Societies register with a governed body that makes sure that they don't traffic children. Okay? Keep up.
I know. Who knows why they did what they did?
Cool, ban my life.
I don't,
The information's
because they
still
didn't have
available.
evidence to support their claim.
Even if you guys ban my life, all these people can still do their own research. Okay? The research is still readily available. I'm going to be saving this live, and I'm going to be posting it in other places, and I will let people know where that link's going to be so they can go back and watch it. So everybody knows how to protect themselves, all right? Not just me, because it took me a long time to figure out how to not get taken advantage of, because I thought the only thing that I could do was be taken advantage of. But once I found out how to create my own boundaries and ask what questions and find out who's doing what, I realized that not very many people actually have the best interest of the children. And anybody that's in my comments right now telling me that this doesn't happen doesn't have the best interest of a child. And if you go look into their account, they're likely fake. And if you go research more into them and investigate into what these profiles are and where, and look into their IPs and go into their data and find out who they truly are, you will fucking realize that they're protecting perpetrators. So I'm not here to speak to the perpetrators. I'm here to speak to people who are in my position who want to get off the human centipede. All right? I don't let bullshit get shoved down my throat and feed it to the next person. We're on the phone with someone from the ministry right now, and she's telling you that we pay her to not have the best interest of the children. She knows how to make sure that the best interest of the children is taken care of, but she just admitted that she chooses not to every day she goes to her job. All she has to do is pick up the fucking phone and call, or not even go online and see if the building is registered or the workers are registered. It has to be either or. If not, then she's supposed to find them. If she's not finding them, she's not doing her job, and she's allowing children to be trafficked. Okay? So we're employing someone that's allowing children to be trafficked right now. So yeah, I am a little upset. I should be breaking things right now. We should all be breaking things right now. This is war. This is a claim for war. This is what happened. This has been going for years and years and years. You're going to allow the next person to do the same thing? Like, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to stop blaming me for exposing them? And why don't we all call the ministry and ask the same questions that I asked so we could all have the same answers and realize we shouldn't be opening our doors to these people. All right? I don't care who's in this chat. Send it to all your Discord so I can tell all the child protection workers, all the police officers, all the people that work in the ministry. Tell them all that I'm coming for them just as they came for me and my children. Okay? And we're all going to come for you. We're all going to ask these questions. And if you don't want to ask these questions, then you're not protecting your child. I'm sorry.
I know they don't have evidence to support their claim because I've been there twice. So you do have the authority
and I didn't do those
to call
things.
The enforcement officers, tell them to investigate their claim, to go into my case file, bring it to a registered social worker, see what the fuck is actually going on so you can see I'm not lying. I don't need a lawyer. They need to have evidence to support their claim. And the police officers need to make sure that
if they had a reason, wouldn't they be able to get their warrant signed? reason. If they had a reason, why would they need to take off my doorbell and erase the footage off my phone that they came to my house? Why would they take off my doorbell? That's there to protect me, right? Why would they do those things? I don't know. I thought I was safe.
They're enforcing an actual, for an actual reason, not just to maliciously prosecute me. Because that they're trusting child protection workers and not registered social workers. If they were registered, I'd sure come into my home, because I know that you have regulations you have to follow and mandates.
I know where the police took my kids. And my kids will be home safe tomorrow. Unfortunately, I do have to wait for a judge's order, because the police officers will not help me by letting me provide them evidence to support my claim. They're choosing to, again, defend perpetrators. I'm used to that. That's why I won't call them or ask them for assistance for anything, because I'm used to them being more prone to protect perpetrators than the person that's fucking screaming the truth out. They want me to look crazy. That's fine. I will be crazy. But like I said, I will roll in shit so the next person doesn't have to. I took my mouth off the asshole in front of me, and I'm not feeding it to the next person. I'm trying to tell the truth. If you don't want to look for the truth, that's on you. But you can call Olga yourself and ask these same questions, and you can question her about how the Children's Aid Society is supposed to be governed, question her about the College of Social Work and Social Service Work, and ask her how many places are registered. And then go look yourself, because that information is available online too. You can go and search in any business, any person, to see if they're registered, and if they're not, then you should not let them in your home. And if you do let them in your home, you're not protecting the children. You're subjecting them to being sex trafficked, because nobody is regulating them at that point. The ministry's telling me they're not. So who is? You have to. Okay? Okay.
File complaint with them, file complaint with the ombudsman, have all that information passed on to them. I know how this goes.
And then, yes, the ombudsman, the ombudsman advocates for parents. No, they don't. They take that information and then they hand it to the perpetrators. So when you go to civil court, they have all of the information that you shared. That's fun too. That means they're able to debunk all your claims. Or not, I guess they can't if it's the truth, but in the same sense, you're still handing them all of the information so they can prepare themselves better to lie. Because that's all they're capable of doing, is lying to protect themselves. They lie. She will likely try to lie once this gets out. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't have that conversation. Prove it. Cool. But if you actually just go and research, go on the social work, College of Social Work and Social Service Work, type in any agency, type in any person, any child protection worker, because they're not allowed to claim to be a social worker unless they're registered. All right, that's the key point. If it says child protection worker, close your door. Just close your door. They're not registered. They don't have the best interest for your child. You just allowed your child to be trafficked. Okay? The information's there.
Okay. I've been investigating it. I'm doing everybody else's job for them. It's getting exposed. And I'm putting it all over my platform, and they don't like it. No one's going to open their door.
I'm doing this for my kids. I'm the only voice for my kids, and you're the only voice for your children. So I'm protecting my children way better than I've ever seen anybody protect their child before. It looks crazy because people don't do it. Cool. That's your choice. That's not on me. I don't feel guilty or shame for something you can't do for your own kids. You could literally do all this work by yourself. I was able to do it. Ain't I crazy? How come I know all this information? It's readily available.
The children's aid workers anymore, because they're child protection workers. They're not
false info. Don't listen to it. Go look yourself. Go to the college and see what they're supposed to do. Go look what a social worker does, and go look what a child protection worker does. Go look in a support group. Go talk to people in your community. Go listen to families. Get them to I can give people consent to look in my case file. We can literally stop. We can go through all this together, and I have 26 more hundred of these papers. You want to see what they write? Hearsay information. Hearsay information. Hearsay information. You know what they're supposed to do with hearsay information? We don't investigate claims that don't have evidence to support them. Click! It's as easy as that. But you know what they're doing? Oh, tell us more. Oh, tell us more. Do you have any? They're not even asking. You don't have any evidence? That's fine. No, that's fine. Yeah, we're going to prosecute them anyways. Don't keep going. Yeah, keep going. That's literally what they're doing. But okay, I'm a Karen. Okay? This information is readily available to you.
Not registered social workers. They can't actually help the public. They're not allowed to. That's why they have the lawyers in their office. If they wanted to help the public, they'd just be registered, so they can help the public.
Okay. I will follow up on that piece, the registration of the social workers, because you're right, they do have to be registered with the college.
Yeah, and I want them fined. I know their agency is not even registered. I've looked it up, and none of their workers are. And all three agencies that conspired against me. All three of them. I wonder why. Maybe because they don't want...
Oh, and she's about to try and debunk my claim. If they are using the title child protection worker instead of social worker, do not let them in your home. How would you know? You're going to look up all these people. I don't need to look them up. If they're using the term child protection worker, don't let these people in your fucking home. If you're letting them in your home, you're subjecting your child to abuse. You're not protecting your child. If they were protecting to protect your child, they would just register. Because, like she just said, they're supposed to. But right now, she's going to try and discredit what I'm saying by saying how you looked every single... you don't need to look them up. The second they say child protection worker, you close your fucking door.
I want the public to know how shady they are.
They have hundreds of workers, and you've looked into every one of them.
Every single one of them that are part of my case. If they were on my case and they...
There's hundreds of workers. You looked into every single one of them? Did you hear that? She's certainly not. Child protection worker is not a regulated, qualified person. If you want to be credited and be qualified, you just go look up. I'm not going through all that information, but you can go look it up yourself. And you can go do the research yourself because the information is there. You want to let child protection workers touch your children? By all means. But when someone finds out that person was touching their children, they have no one to complain to except for in the Children's Aid Society. But if a registered social worker touches your child, they have somewhere to complain to. So maybe who would be more cautious about touching a child? Probably the person that could be held liable.
Their name came on my affidavit. 100% I looked them up. That was my duty as a parent to protect my child. If I didn't, I'd be stupid.
Good, give it to the RCMP. They're not even doing anything. They did this to Native children for years. Do we not remember what happened in the residential schools? Or are we going to pretend like that was all healthy and normal too? This has been going on for a long time, guys. And we're allowing these people in our homes. All right? That's sick. They tell you for you. If they're not registered, they're not there for the best interest, okay? I'm sorry to let you know. And this is a huge shocker to some people. I get it. I've known this for a while now. That's why I can say this, and I'm upset because this information it should be taught. The perpetrators aren't going to teach us this in school because they want to take advantage of us. My bad for being the one to let you know that there's more research to be done after you go to school. That's all.
That wasn't that hard. There's only 3 of them.
You're not educated until you look past what you were taught in those fucking schools. I'm sorry.
You're gonna try and discredit me one more time? What other questions do you have, miss?
No, that's all I wanted to know.
So are you gonna call the police and tell them to investigate their claims now? Because you do have the authority to do that. I know you do.
I do not have the authority to direct the police on their work. That's not accurate. I don't have that authority.
Oh, so what authority do you have, and who has that authority to make sure that they're following due process?
I have to make sure that they're following due process and that your complaints are being addressed.
Okay, who do I contact for that?
And I know where to go. It's like the OPIRD, or whatever the abbreviation is. I know where to go, but she's going to tell me that she doesn't know. You ready for this one? This one's my favorite.
You can contact Muskoka.
And if you're going to say I'm probably making this worse for my kids, it's because you're a perpetrator and you're fucked up. But my children are protected by divine. They're divinely protected right now. Because they're my children. And if anyone wants to fuck with my children, then they're subjecting themselves to a lot. All right? You're asking for it. That's all I gotta say.
Directly?
Who do I contact? Give me the information or you're protecting the perpetrators. All of the information you can tell me. Or you're protecting the perpetrators.
I don't know who's directing the complaint today.
You don't need to know. Who do I call when people are not following due process, if they're working for the society and if they're working for the police? Who do I call?
I don't have a name for you. I really don't.
Oh, that's funny because I know who to call. So you're protecting the perpetrators. You answered all of my questions. I really hope that,
Elizabeth, I'm Donna,
I hope you live in a gated community. I really do.
I wouldn't even know what that is.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have access to a gated community.
You're protecting perpetrators.
I'm really sorry you're going through this.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't pull that card. I can tell by your voice. No, you're not. You're sorry for the people that are about to be exposed. You're worried. You wouldn't give me the information that I already have access to. I already know you're the position you're in, and you don't know who to call to make sure the police are following due process. You don't know who to call. How'd you get to that position? Did you pay for it? Because it doesn't seem you were qualified to get it.
This conversation is going around in circles, but should you require
Oh, is it?
a complaint process, please.
Oh, if you were wanting.
And I said I hope she lives in a gated community because she knows, I already explained on here, that I was going to expose this information, which included her name. So now people are going to be made aware that this girl, that we've been paying her to not do her job. So that I'm not threatening her, but that doesn't mean somebody else won't be upset and find out that she literally subjected millions of children to harm's way because she couldn't do her job. Okay? You should be pissed, but if you don't want to be pissed, that's fine. That's grounds for
all the
war.
information you have to the perpetrators, make sure you do that so that we have access to it. That's what you just said to me.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'll touch base with you.
Yeah, no, you're gonna go tell everyone the information that I know. I know it. You're a tattletale, aren't you? They've chose you specifically to call me. You're good at getting information. You're good at pretending.
I didn't get any information.
They just took advantage of you. I know, but they just tried to take advantage of you. You've given them information in the past. Whether you want to believe it or not, you've given them enough information on the past to work on it.
And that's how she got to her job.
And now they asked you to get it from me. They took advantage of you.
Who's them? Who's they?
Who do you work for?
Oh, okay.
Who do you work for? Who do you work for? Tell me.
I've already told you.
No, you didn't. I'd like to know again. Who do you work for? Do you even know who you work for?
No, I don't, Elizabeth.
Obviously not. Or you wouldn't have called me.
Okay.
They would have warned you. They would have gave you my case. But they just took advantage of you. They took advantage of you, and now you're going to be liable. But you're going to be liable. Are you happy? Woohoo!
You want to live in a country like that where we pay people that don't want to do their jobs? That's on you. I now know that we pay her to not do her job. Her only job is to protect you guys. I protect myself. Well, tried to before they, again, tried to obtain a warrant, but they didn't have grounds to get one, and they kicked in my door and stole my fucking children and got you guys to all actively help them go on their little witch hunt and told you that I kidnapped my own kids when I have custodial rights, and they don't even, I don't even know why they still have my kids. They don't have a warrant. They're literally holding my children hostage. The only reason why I don't have them is because I don't know where they are, and they're withholding that information from me. That kind of sounds like hostage. Their claim is not founded because it's not true. If it was true and it met the elements to have my children be detained, their warrant would be signed. Okay? You tell me to get help and all these things and have all these people on here that are, again, supporting the perpetrators. But if you're a true Canadian and you want to protect your child, I just gave you a lot of information. There's a lot of people in higher power that do not have the best interest of our children. And I'm not here to explain it to everybody anymore. I got the information that I needed out. That was someone from the ministry letting you know. You can go look her up. She gave you the name. She gave you her little speech. That's not, I didn't choose to say those things. Okay? By all means, let the child protection workers in your home. But if you want your children to be safe and there's a serious claim that needs to be investigated, they would just register so they can actually assess and give the families the help that they need. But that's too much work. Okay? My children are very small. They are vulnerable. But I did not subject them to that. I didn't go and get the fake warrant. I didn't kick down my own door. I didn't come in with guns and all that stuff. And actually, I'm going to see if that video is on here before I have to switch over. Who knows? I'm hoping and praying that it's just on this phone. But I can't guarantee. Yep, it is. So now we're going to watch them breaking into my home and me sitting in a closet because I know that they're coming to my house without a warrant because I knew that their shit couldn't reach a claim because it was not true. That's how I know they don't have evidence, all this stuff, because it's not true. That's the only reason why I'm doing what I'm doing.
I've not committed a crime.
So you need to stand up.
I've not committed a crime.
There is authorization for children's aid to be in here signed by the justice. You need to
You
come
do
out.
not have a real warrant. That's not a real signature. I need to see it. Let me see that. You're traumatizing my child. You do not have a claim.
Do they want us to physically remove this child or not?
You have no right to be in that house.
They're asking CES if they want to physically remove my child or not.
Do they want us to physically remove the child?
CES is not the police. No.
Trying to have a child in the closet.
Warrant, they don't have a warrant. A signed warrant.
I'm going to give you one last opportunity to stand up. Physically
Can you
take your child.
move so I can get out of my closet?
Perfect, stand up.
Can you
Of
move
course,
so I
I
can
want to
get
see
out?
the faces. Put their faces on.
Here's his face.
Great, stand up. This is the last time I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Okay, I'm going
I had
to.
2 phones in my hand.
Can you back up, please?
Stand up.
I am.
Stand up.
I am. Can you back up?
I'm about to physically remove your child. I highly doubt you want that. Stand up.
Excuse me?
How would you
Trying to get on my bed and you're blocking.
How would you know when the cops were coming to break down your door? The only reason why I hid in my closet is because I know the claims against me were not true. And I have evidence to support that. And they were not here to collect the evidence, guys. When they're coming the way that they came, they're not coming to collect the evidence and see whose side is right. They're just doing their job, remember? They're just doing their job instead of actually doing their job, following due process. Getting a signed warrant would be great.
You will move. I am not.
Okay, will you?
Stopping you from standing.
Scripted.
There you go. On it.
These officers are in my house. Hopefully, because you guys are going to need that to defend yourself.
Bring the child over.
No, you're not removing my child.
Do not remove the
I
child.
have, and that's what you're not understanding, is I have. They don't have evidence to support their claim, and that's why I told them to get their order. But they need evidence,
Nothing more than it needs to
but
be.
they need evidence to support their claim. What do I say, David? But you can see my child is taken care of, and you're stressing us out.
That's the thing. You can talk to them, have rational
I did, though. That's what you're not understanding.
It doesn't have to go to you. Okay, they're up there if you want to go talk to them.
Okay, so you guys get out of my bedroom, please, and we'll go all together. Look, she's here. Please put the child down. No, you're not removing my. She's coming here to remove my child. I'm not letting go of my child. I'm not letting go of my child. They abused my daughter. My doctor's been collecting evidence. Okay? They literally abused my daughter. I have evidence, and nobody wants to look at my claim. Everyone wants to support their claim.
They're traumatizing my child.
Don't try to project yourself on me. You're projecting yourself on me right now. You're projecting yourself on me right now. You have no idea what you just started. They did 2 malicious prosecutions. You're not having access to her. I made sure she's gone. I made sure she's safe.
Is she here?
What's your name and your? That's Gabby. It's Gabby. It's the same girl.
Hey, is your other child here?
No. I promise you, she's not here. You can look.
He's responsible for something else that is unrelated to this as well. It's a criminal activity.
What
Yeah.
would you like to do?
Do not take this lady. Do not be deceived by this lady.
They're separating me and Kaizen.
You're welcome to rewatch the live.
Okay. So would you like to?
But am I being detained? So if I'm not being detained, you can't separate my child
We
from
have
me.
no interest.
Because there's no claim against me or charge against me.
We're dealing with the child right now. Would you like to voluntarily hand the child over, or would you like the child taken?
You're gonna have to take the child from my prying arms because this is my child and I did nothing wrong for him.
Are you sure? It's not gonna go well. You're fighting your kid. Why would you do that?
Not.
Hi, buddy.
I opened my mouth and they said I was biting my kid. All I did was open my mouth.
It's okay, Kaizen. I love you. That's my baby. Okay, so let go of me.
Relax. You're not chasing your child.
Can we walk with them, please?
No.
We walk with them. We're just walking. You guys are 6 officers. You can define that, but I need
You're staying in here.
Okay.
You're staying in here.
David.
You're not going over there.
Am I being arrested?
That's why
I know. So why are you removing my child if I'm not charged with a crime?
it's right there, written on that paper.
All right. And I'm gonna get my child back in 2 days.
Read the paper and
Because I know what this is, and I already know you guys are gonna get in a lot of trouble, and I feel bad for. I need everybody's actually badge and police number right now. Badge and police number.
hey, we need to know where your 3-year-old is.
She's not here. She's not here. She's safe. She's safe.
Okay, well, we're
She's safe.
life's upside down.
That's fine. Yep. I'm at her. She's safe. He's now not, but she is.
Double check the closet.
The unsigned warrant. That's what they came in, an unsigned
Where's she
warrant.
taking my son? Are you gonna even investigate where she's taking my son right now?
That's my job.
Yeah, I know.
Assess the children's services.
Yeah, they're going through my whole home.
If you would cooperate and provide us with the information, you're not going to hurt.
They won't allow me to see where my son is going.
Correct.
You're instructed by the ministry, aren't you? You're for the ministry? The ministry's gonna do the same thing to your family.
Right on.
They're gonna do
I'm
the same
so mad at this point. You have no idea.
what I just did. All of you. You have no idea what you're doing right now, do you?
Okay.
It's gonna be so fun for me. I did this for 3 fucking years. You don't think I'm gonna do this again? You don't think I'm gonna do this again? Each and every single one of yous are gonna pay for what you just did. You have no idea. Whose orders are you following? Do you even know? Do you even know whose orders you're following? I've been gathering so much evidence and data. You have no idea. If they hurt my son like they hurt my daughter, I get so much money. You have no idea. So much money. More money than you guys can ever even imagine. And you guys are going to work for me soon. Did you know that? You guys are going to work for me because of what they're making you do right now. Yeah, I know. Roll your eyes. Scoff. You have no idea what you just started. You started. I would. I know how to give orders the right way. The right way. The lawful way. Yeah, I'm actually abundant, if you can't tell. Unlike your government's going to be. You have no idea. I'm literally living better than probably half of you in this house right now.
Yeah, I'm fucking pissed. Yeah, I did say that shit. I was livid.
I worked for everything.
I wanted to claw their faces off. If I'm going to be quite honest, you're going to tell me that after your children, you see a blank warrant, you're going to allow your children to be deprived from you and you're not going to say stuff? You're going to tell me you're going to sit there calmly and let them do that? They're holding my children hostage right now. I have my court date for tomorrow. There's nothing else on that video that you guys need to see other than the fact that they came into my house with a blank warrant and took my children. After that, they detained me and they told me that they were not going to release me until I compromised the safety Because, again, child protection workers are not registered social workers, and they were trying to assess children without the qualifications. She didn't even assess my child. She just took him right out of the home. This video will be available on the platforms that I choose to post them on. That was very hard for me to watch, and I'm really trying to keep my calm with you guys. There are a lot of people on here that are going to try to discredit my claims, but the reality is, no officer should be going in anybody's home without a fucking signed warrant. No child protection worker or anybody should be putting a claim before the court with zero evidence. I've been on this live for how long now? Almost 2 hours. So I've said the same information over and over and over and over again. You will have the opportunity to view this at another time. I'm coming on here to share on my platform. And if you choose to be here and listen to the information, I can't control who sits here and watches and who doesn't. But what I did do is I exposed the ministry, I exposed the Barrie courthouse, and I'm exposing the Barrie police station. I've also had a run-in with the Children's Aid Society of Sudbury, because that was a continuation of after they kidnapped my daughter from the hospital the day after I gave birth for being, again, abused in their system. So they victimized me, all right? I clearly have no issue going and researching stuff and educating myself and doing all, but they want to take advantage of people, okay? When they're in my comments trying to tell you that what I'm saying is not true, even though I'm providing you evidence to support my claim, they're trying to take advantage of anyone in my comments right now that's not going to go do the research to protect themselves. Do you not understand that? I gave you guys a lot of information. Now it's your responsibility to protect your children or not. Okay, the information is there. You can call me whatever name you want, or you can go look for yourself. There are no claims. The claims against me are not true. They're lies. They don't have evidence to support them because they're lies. I don't prostitute myself, which is what a claim. You guys want to hear a claim? Apparently that's what I do. I don't need to do those things. I don't need to do the things that they say in order for me to be a good parent. And also if you are in the sex work industry, that's not grounds to you not have your child. What you do in your adult time is your choice. You do not have to be a perfect parent to have your children. I have custody of my children. I have primary custodial rights of my children because I have the best interests of them. What is the ministry? The Ministry of Child and Family Services is something that I'm not sure if it's a Canadian thing or Ontario thing. I'm not looking that much into it. I just know where to look for the answers that I have, for the questions that I have personally. And if you don't have questions about the treatment that you're receiving because you just want to comply and you want them to allow them to attach you to their asshole and drag you around for a bit so you can shit in the next person behind you, that's not on me. But like I said, I'm not rolling in shit. I'm not doing that. I'll roll in shit for you guys. That's fine. But the more you guys research on your own, the cleaner this country will be. There doesn't have to be shit everywhere. That's what I'm trying to tell. There does not have to be shit everywhere. We don't have to roll in shit. We don't have to eat shit. But they're feeding us shit. Okay? There's people feeding us fucking shit. Okay? And as long as they're coming to your door and they want to feed you shit and you're eating it and you're feeding it to the person behind you, you're not doing a favor to Canada. You're not doing a favor to the children. You're actually impacting everyone's reputation, even your own, because there are people that are awake and that know that if you are compliant with these predators, then we don't want to be around you. So I don't give a fuck who calls me crazy or doesn't want to be around me. Because I know if you allow those type of people in your home, knowing the information that I do and is readily available to anybody and could take 20 minutes to figure out yourself, that's not my fucking problem. I came on here to tell you what's going on with my family so you can protect yours. All right? I actually have a lot of things that I need to do. I came on here to share as much as I could without compromising all of the information that I have to share tomorrow in order to get my children back. This is just a little bit of evidence to support my claim. The rest of my evidence is in their disclosure and other stuff that I have compiled. But I know and I'm aware that they are following me and watching and monitoring everything that I do, even on my phone. I'm aware that that information is readily available, and they're most likely watching you guys do stuff too. But don't let child protection workers in your home. If you want a competent worker in your home, you have to make sure that they are registered. That is all. If you want to prove yourself right and get help, if you think you need help, they need to be registered. If they're not registered, they're not there to help you. That's all I'm here to say. If they're not registered social workers and they're just a child protection worker, they are not qualified to help you. Make sure that they register, and then I'll welcome a registered social worker in my home at any time, because I have nothing to hide. I'm a good mom. Am I the best mom? No, I would never claim that. That would be me feeding a false narrative. Nobody's a perfect parent. Nobody. But I would allow a registered social worker in my home so that they would see that I have nothing to hide. I would never let a child protection worker in my home on consent ever again, because I know what that subjects not only my family to, but your family as well. And I won't do that. Okay? You can. Again, that's not on me. This live will be available on other platforms, and I will share that on a video that I post later on my page so that people can go see it and go take clips from it and get information from it, because there was a lot of information that was said on this live. And I get it, not everybody came in at the same time, and people came in at different times, and not everybody knows what I'm talking about right now. I'm hyper aware that's how a live feed goes. Okay? But this will be available, and I will be trying to keep people updated, because it is important to know what the next steps that Canada is going to take in this case. Because I already did my job to protect my children. This is me protecting my children right now and letting the rest of you know our fucking country is in war. A silent fucking war. Whether you know it or not, them coming in my home without a warrant was grounds for a war. Okay? And exactly, this happens nationwide. This is not even a Canadian problem. You can go on any forum in any country and look up the whatever their child protection service is. Took my kids. I guarantee there's going to be a support group with thousands of people saying the exact same thing I am, except we're the 1%. Okay? The information's there. I'm helping. If you don't want to help, I can't make you. But I'm going to go roll in shit now, because that's all I have left to do, since they can kidnap kids and watch people on their live and try to discredit them, even though they should just be compiling evidence to support their claim now, since they clearly don't, or they would have had a warrant to come in here in the fucking first place. All right? All right. One love, guys. Seriously, this was very hard for me to do, and I really hope that nobody else has to do what I'm fucking doing right now. We all have that choice, though.